Hello, it's Phillip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers in London. This morning I'm looking at a book which has come to us from Globe Law and Business. It's an excellent first-class book which would be of direct relevance to anybody who's working for a law firm. It's called Mentoring and Coaching for Lawyers with a subtitle Building Partnerships for Success. The consulting editor of the book is Normand-Hochman, and it's been produced on behalf of the International Bar Association, and there are a large number of contributors who have put chapters into the work. Now, Elizabeth and I have produced a review. We went to the book launch, which was excellent, and met a few of the authors, and we've given it a title, Coaching and Mentoring as a Path to Profit. Practical advice from a crack team of experts. Let's have a look at the book first of all. There we go, nice orange cover, that's the front, the spine, and then at the back you've got quite a lot of information. It's not a big book at all. It only runs to something like just over 200 pages, something like that. There's no index as such. There's a detail about the authors at the back of the book, not at the front. Actually at the back you'll find all of the details about the authors. As I say, we met them when the book was launched. That's the front cover. You can see, I'll just turn it up so you can read it. And then the table of contents. You can see how it's structured there, the various contributors, and there are a couple more on the side there on this next page. Then we go straight into the introduction from Rebecca, which sets the scene, mentoring, coaching and the practice of law, and then running through. There are lots of footnotes, very helpful to show the amount of research that's gone in as running through. There's paragraph numbering as well, which assists to find things. This is Robert Sharp, the psychologist, and there's, as I say, numbers, actual paragraph numbering, case studies, and quite a lot of interesting stuff. Then there's another chapter, and so forth, going all the way through. And then at the back, as I say, you have a detail about the authors, but there's no actual index. Now, let me tell you what we think about this book. We thought it was an excellent book. The presentation was very professional, and quote, "I love coaching lawyers," said John. "You can think straight." Well, hey John, thanks for the compliment. You might say, assuming you're a lawyer reading this line of dialogue in this unexpectedly absorbing book on coaching and mentoring, which you really must buy, and I think if you are involved in a larger firm, this would be something that would be of great interest to you. I certainly think the senior echelons of the firm might find it useful as well. In the normal course of our work, we lawyers don't often get compliments like the one we've just had laid at our feet, or strewn in our path like bouquets. In sorting out the chaotic entanglements of a client's case, we're expected to think straight, and we do, well, mostly. But what about the bigger picture, the broader horizon, the longer-term perspective on career development in a demanding profession? No matter how successful, the often perplexed lawyer, at whatever stage of his or her career, requires some encouragement and guidance along the way, hence the increasingly urgent need for mentoring and coaching examined in this book. It's been published recently by Globe Law and Business, and Mentoring for Coaches and Coaching for Lawyers explores in considerable and enlightening detail the issues and benefits inherent in both mentoring and coaching, and the book succinctly defines the difference in the context typically of a law firm. The claim is made that mentoring and coaching really do provide additional motivation for enhancing client service, attracting and retaining top talent, and ultimately improving performance and profit. It's ably been coordinated by the consulting editor Rebecca Normand-Hochman, and the book presents a veritable treasure trove of insights and commentary from no less than 16 experts in this field. And Heidi Gardner, for example, a distinguished fellow at Harvard Law School, professor, writes the chapter on mentoring senior lawyers. Her primary aim is to tackle head-on the "what's in it for me" attitude on the part of senior level partners tasked with the mentoring of, say, a partner-level colleague. Here she draws on existing empirical research and new interview data, supported by best practice examples to enumerate the benefits to senior lawyers. And she gave an excellent presentation at the launch, and obviously comes not from a law background but from business background, so that in its own way is a tremendous plus factor, again in our view, but she was a very entertaining presenter. Other contributors hailed from academia and from top law firms: Harvard, the Syed Business School at Oxford University, and Simmons & Simmons, to cite just a few examples, as well as major corporate players in the commercial sector. Acquiring this book really does provide top-drawer consultancy at your fingertips. Quote, "Imagine a world where most lawyers would be good mentors," says Rebecca Normand-Hochman. "It could deal with many of the challenges that the legal industry faces today in relation to talent." Quoting psychologist Adam Grant, she cites the, quote, "compelling evidence that interest precedes the development of talent and that motivation is the reason that people develop talent in the first place." Very important point. Let me just conclude by saying this. If perchance you need to build a case for mentoring and coaching in your particular work environment, then this book is here to help you do it. Based on the authority and experience of its contributors and its practical approach, it's a valuable compendium of current thinking in this field, and certainly a useful addition to any law library. And the publication date is quoted at 2014. The launch was in early 2015. Let's have a look at the book again. There's some very interesting stuff in it. And one thing I will point out is there's a poem. This was actually from Bill Knight, who we met. "The Song of the Wandering Angus." There we go, from W.B. Yeats. Very interesting. You don't get that many poems in some of these law books, so thank you for including it, Bill. There's the middle of the book. Again, you see how it's structured, paragraph numbering and footnotes. It's very much the house style of Globe Law and Business. It's a very important book, part of a series of books in this area that they have produced. We've been asked to review this one, and we have. I think it's a book that will certainly be treasured, and one that I will look at from time to time, because I think it's of extremely useful guidance to the way in which we do things. Just remember one last point, which is not in the review. That is, actually your firm is probably only as good as your human resources manager in motivating and keeping the personnel in the first place. Too many people I've seen have left a firm and gone somewhere else because that little bit of extra special support has been missing. And firms need to keep their talent. Thank you to all concerned. The contributors have done an excellent job. Thank you to Globe Law and to Sian O'Neill for the work she's done as well. It's an excellent book. Bye-bye.